choice in home care.
Kamala Harris continues to amaze us all by breaking the glass ceiling yet again by becoming the first woman to certify her own election loss, but also the first black woman to certify her own election loss and the first Indian woman to certify her own election loss. So obviously her accomplishments keep piling up, and I hope Democrats take this into consideration when they choose to nominate her again in 2028, because obviously I want to win easily, okay? Now, what we're going to see today, of course, is Jon Stewart roasting this entire scenario, along with Bill Maher having to deal with more denialism on why Democrats lost the election. So before we get to these clips, please like and comment on this video so we can break through the algorithms. Here we go.
Of course, it is January 6th. It is the day that traditionally we now pretend that we knew was a big deal in terms of certifying the elections. Be honest. Before that insurrection, you had no idea that was happening. You had no idea there was a January 6th ceremony or what it did or why it did. Now you just got to act like, oh, yes, the reading of the election. So important. But let's get to it. Of course, the ultimate indignity of this January 6th is that Donald Trump's opponent, Kamala Harris, because she is the vice president, serves as the master of ceremonies to this. Really, you are a very reactive and sad group. The empathy is off the charts with this group. Kamala Harris has to be the master of ceremonies. But it does suck.
The votes for President of the United States are as follows. Donald J. Trump of the state of Florida has received 312 votes. Kamala D. Harris
That's gotta sting. She's like, I can hear you. God damn, it's like attending your own funeral. And even the mourners are like, woohoo! I can't imagine anything that would be more uncomfortable than standing there while the crowd applauds your opponent.
Kamala D. Harris of the state of California has received 226 votes.
Wait, oh, that sounded louder. There's a lot of joy in that room. I think she can still win this thing. She just needs to find like 130,000 votes in Georgia. And then, you know, some in Michigan and Pennsylvania, maybe Wisconsin, maybe that's the flip North Carolina. But ultimately, the certification ceremony that we all look forward to every 4 years, since I was little, went off without a hitch. Because it's amazing how smoothly our democracy can work when you don't act like a little bitch when you lose.
So pretty funny stuff, right? Kamala Harris has to suffer the embarrassment of certifying her own election loss. There's just something poetic about all of this. It deserves just that chef's kiss, all right? What a beautiful way to end this election cycle. But one thing Jon Stewart said right there at the end really kind of sticks in my craw, right? When you don't act like a little bee, the whole thing can go off without a hitch. So let's actually go back in time and talk about every other instance the Democrats went ahead and tried to decertify the election of a Republican. Oh, you mean every single time this century and possibly all the way back to 1988, okay? Because if you remember, all the way back in 2000, right, going against that election was Maxine Waters, right? She tried to contest that in the House of Representatives. And then fast forward to 2004, you had Barbara Boxer out of California and several other Democrats trying to decertify the election as well. And the reason given, by the way, is truly hilarious because in Ohio, apparently, the Democrats thought there were some shenanigans, right? Several Democrats, including many black lawmakers, tried using the session to underscore the missing voting machines, unusually long lines, and other problems that plagued Ohio districts, many in minority neighborhoods, all right? So apparently, once upon a time, the Democrats actually cared about voter integrity and voting machines and counting the ballots, but not enough to look into it in 2020. And of course, fast forwarding to 2016, where you had a myriad of Democrats, influenced of course by Hollywood elites, trying to decertify the election as well. So here we have the first time in our recent history where Democrats did not contest a Republican victory in our elections. But don't tell that to Jon Stewart, right? Stop being little bees, okay? Now, of course, the reason the Democrats lost is because of a whole bunch of bad policies, not to mention the wokeness they infused into their politics politics, their platforms, their campaigns, all right? But we're going to have Bill Maher try to explain this fact to another Hollywood elite.
And of course, we just had the election, and I feel like my conscience is very clear. I warned everybody about Trump, and then I warned them about what would get him reelected, which was stupid wokeness, which is what got him reelected. So I feel my conscience is very clear that I told you, and I told you, and I told you, and I lost fans for it. You know, lots of the super woke that like I'm not woke enough for them. Yeah, but like I think I had it right. Like that kind of stuff is what lost the election for the Democrats. It's in all.
Maybe part of it. I don't know. I think a lot.
They have polling on it.
Well, I think it's inflation. I think Americans hate inflation.
That certainly was
They hate
part of it.
inflation. They hate riots, and they hate black women.
They don't.
And they hate trans people.
Oh God, John, we're not
Dude,
gonna.
they just spent hundreds of millions
They
of dollars
don't hate
demonizing
black-
trans people, and that is disgusting.
Yeah,
That
we
is-
shouldn't talk politics.
Okay, we shouldn't. We
I mean,
shouldn't.
this
Great. We don't have to.
No, and this, you know, I mean, I have this kind of relationship with people on the right also who like, yeah, it's just going to take so long to even have this discussion.
Mhm.
And I want, just like I would like to deprogram them, I feel like there's things that don't get in your bubble on the left
Mhm.
that I would love to deprogram, but it's probably not the place to do it.
Yeah,
But, you know,
you can try. if that's how you want to spend your leisure hours.
No, I mean,
deprogramming Ducky. There's a spinoff.
So there, of course, is actor Jon Cryer, made famous for his role in John Hughes movies and, of course, 2.5 Men. All right, and he's basically saying that, yes, Donald Trump won the election because of inflation in the economy. That, of course, is true. But then he comes out with this absurd notion that, oh, we hate trans people. We hate black women. All right. This is completely ridiculous. We have said over and over and over again, if you are a consenting adult, do whatever the crap you want with your body. Just don't expect us to buy into your truth, your reality. But then he has to delve into, of course, the madness that, oh, all those people on the right, those maggots, they hate black women. What is that based on? The simple fact that Kamala Harris lost? No, she was a terrible candidate. She couldn't give interviews. She couldn't answer questions. Her party platform was garbage. That's why we voted against her. However, I do want to Tai Chi this whole scenario, because when you look at the numbers, right, break down by women voting, right? When you look at white women, you had 46% go for Kamala Harris, and you had 53% go for Donald Trump. When you look at Latino women, you had 59% go for Kamala Harris, and you had 39% go for Donald Trump. When you look at black women, look at these numbers, 89% went for Kamala Harris, and only 10% went for Donald Trump, all right? So we don't hate black women, but apparently black women really hate the right, right? There's no way they're gonna vote Republican no matter what. But when you look at the more even keel parts of the nation, the parts that haven't been brainwashed due to Democrat giveaways and forced to live in squalor in their horribly run cities, all right, then you see that, yes, there is actually a true bias among this community towards the Republican Party. And that, of course, means the Democrats have them in their pocket and they'll never have to do anything to try to win their vote. Of course, this does fall on the heels of Donald Trump winning 10% more among the ages of 18 to 35 black men, all right, which of course is good news and is a good start for making some headway. But either way, I hope that the left continues to deny why they lost the election, because as I mentioned earlier, it's just going to make it easier for us to win in the future. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and stay safe out there, people, because they're coming after you.